arguments, absent the factual basis that's discussed in the statement of facts, and later referenced in regard to the criteria under the rule, some of the publicity set forth there as well. So it can be easily done. It would satisfy the concern insofar as the motion goes. What you would lose in that, I think, is at the hearing itself, having the court have the ability to actually listen to the evidence. I'm not sure. I think that falls into a different category. In other words, the motion is one thing, but presenting it live to the court, I think, presents a different issue. And perhaps that can be addressed by submitting to the court in camera the clips that are outlined in the motion, which that would satisfy our concern. But the only other thing I think could arise is if experts are commenting on something the court has considered in camera, those opinions might disclose that information. So that could be a special problem. But in general, I think redacting the motions and providing the court with a disk or a thumb drive that contained the clips with the understanding that that would not be disclosed. In other words, by providing that to the court, the media would say, oh, you provided it to the court, therefore it's filed and we're entitled to it. I think the understanding would have to be the court is being provided this with the understanding it is private. And to answer the court's question, I think those kind of remedies would resolve the issue.
Thank you, Mr. Birch.
Sure.
All right, turning to the state, the defendant argues that publicly filing the motion to exclude forces them to republish prejudicial media links and private information protected by grandma, effectively doing the media's work for them. Does the state acknowledge any risk to the integrity of the proceedings by hosting a consolidated repository of this potential prejudicial material on the public docket?
I think, defendant, you can't ignore the fact that there is a risk that when you repeat something, it's emphasized. Certainly we agree with that there's a risk of that. I think Allgaier is controlling, though, where it says the fact that something is already public tends to support that should remain public, and that Allgaier, it didn't directly address whether that would risk republication, whether the republication would risk emphasizing, but certainly that's the undertone there in Allgaier. And I just wanted to clarify one point there. If you look at paragraph, just let me grab my computer.
Sure.
If you look at paragraph 16 of Allgaier, this is about the point that Mr. Burt made that defense counsel in Allgaier actually attached the letter to his public brief in the Supreme Court. That was not the decisive factor in Allgaier. All that did was give the court even greater confidence that affirming the district court's ruling to release the letter was correct. If you look at paragraph 16 in Allgaier, about halfway through the paragraph, it says, the district court considered the specific language within the Cobb letter. Cobb is the name of the inmate. The specific language within the Cobb letter and its potential impact on Mr. Allgaier's right to a fair trial. But the district court concluded that given the amount and type of prejudicial information already in the public domain at the time of its decision, unsealing the Cobb letter would not undermine Mr. Allgaier's right to a fair trial. So the district court's decision was based on what was already in the public, the information that was already public when the letter came before the court. The letter at that time was still sealed. And then the Supreme Court does not say, it doesn't question whether that balancing was correct or not. It says we are, in affirming the decision of the district court, we note that the letter there's even more information of the same kind that was already contained in the letter because the letter itself was now attached to the brief. So the decision in Allgaier was based on the information that was already in the public domain, even absent the defendant attaching the letter to his brief.
All right, thank you. The court has no further questions. We are right at the noon hour. The court intends to take a 15-minute recess to review my notes, considering the arguments, and to issue a ruling on this case as it relates to what's before the court. And then we'll come back and discuss how we will address the April 17th hearing. Court is in a brief recess.
All right, as you heard, the court is in a brief recess right now as they are expected to reconvene. We'll, of course, make sure to take you out there as we do get any kind of update on the hearing. Right now, I do want to head over to Rocky Mount, North Carolina, as we have Kelly Loeffler, who's speaking right now. Let's lift up the audio.
Zarutska. After 4 disastrous years, that turnaround is well underway. And yes, there is much more work to do, but we're making fast progress for you. We've cut Biden's massive inflation and high interest rates to 5-year lows. We're eliminating trillions of dollars of bureaucratic red tape that crushed our job creators. And we're restoring drill, baby, drill to make us energy dominant again. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say clean, beautiful coal. So we are bringing back Made in America. That's what made us a great nation of builders. It's going to make us a great nation of builders again. Now, the mainstream media and the liberal elites said that it couldn't be done, that we should just simply manage America's decline. Well, they were dead wrong, because all we needed was a new president. Now, just, you know what the working family tax cuts mean. You know that it's no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. It's thousands of dollars back in your pocket this year and for years to come. It's expanded child tax credits, expanded health savings account, $1,000 Trump accounts for children. It's the 20% pass-through deduction for small businesses. It's the immediate expensing that is rocket fuel for Main Street. And in fact, this is the most Main Street bill in American history. But yet, every single Democrat in Congress voted against it. Which means when you get your tax refunds this year, you will not be thanking Don Davis, but you can thank President Trump, Vice President Vance, and congressional Republicans for that. So now, look, President Trump and Vice President Vance, they didn't break it, but they're trying to fix it, and they're working quickly, and they're fighting for you. Not for Green New Deal radicals, not for illegal aliens, not for big government spending or fraudsters stealing your tax dollars, but for workers, for veterans, for hardworking families like yours who make our nation strong. We are working every day to make this country great again. Now, my friends, we are on the cusp of America's golden age, and certainly the best is yet to come. But none of this would have been possible without the incredible leadership of President Trump and Vice President Vance. And you all know our great Vice President's story, his humble beginnings. He's a man of deep faith, the father of soon-to-be 4 with his beautiful wife and Second Lady, Usha Vance. Something important to know about our Vice President, he was the deciding vote on the One Big Beautiful Bill. He single-handedly stopped Democrats from driving your tax bill through the roof and preventing a $4 trillion tax hike. And now he's leading a sweeping effort to end massive fraud and prosecute criminals who are stealing your tax dollars. He's a man who, above all, fights unapologetically for American values. He and President Trump do it all for the hardworking men and women of our nation who make this nation exceptional.